Hello, hello. So, first thing first, heads up, I am driving and I really won't be looking at the camera because I'm driving and I'm focusing. I also will not be stopping the camera until I am at a full and complete parked stop somewhere. So, you will have to deal with my nonsensical ramble until I get to my location, which is my children's school. Anyways, in the meantime, I just got done having coffee with my friend, and we went to a place that has recently switched from what it was. So for those of you that are local to the area, this will make a little bit more sense. This used to be the Daily Grind and Gearing, and it's now the Mixing Bowl. Apparently the Mixing Bowl has moved locations, which I didn't know, which I am very glad that my friend told me. Anywho, so we were outside and we were chit-chatting, and I told her this story, and I was like, I gotta record this before I forget it, because I had completely forgotten about this silly story. I was with one of my dear friends, Bethany, and we went to get coffee, which for me, I always get like hot chocolate, or this day I actually decided, I think it was my first time ever trying boba tea, or maybe it was just that I was trying like a different flavor. I don't remember. But anyways, so I wound up getting like a boba tea or something very similar to that. And we pulled up to this place to get it, and she was in my vehicle. I can't remember. I think I just picked her up to give her a ride that day, because I did that occasionally. Anyways, back to the story. We pulled up at this place and we parked, and we were going to go inside, but then we realized, oh well, they're closed. And so we were kind of chit-chatting, like, you know, what do you want to do, where should we go, you know, to get something since they're closed, and as we're doing that, the lady that owns it goes and she opens it up, and so we were like, oh okay, cool, like we'll just give her a minute and then we'll go. And so we're parked, and I just pull out and pull straight into the drive-through, because I'm like, well, I don't want to have to, why circle around the whole building to come get in the drive-through? Whatever, because for some reason in my head I was like, oh, you need to circle around and get in the drive-through, and then I was like, oh, I don't need to do that, I can just pull straight in. So I went ahead and pulled straight into the drive-through, and then we're sitting there and we're ordering, and I'm reading things, and I'm looking over the passenger side, and I'm like, why am I having such a hard time reading this, you know, the sign and all the stuff that they offer? And I never have this issue at a drive-through. And I mentioned something to my friend, and she, of course, teasing me because she's a wonderful, amazing friend, goes, well, it's probably because you pulled in backwards. Yes, I pulled in backwards to the coffee shop, and was in the drive-through backwards, and so it was very awkward from that point on. And both of them, both the owner and my friend, were so gracious and so funny and silly and loving about it, and they were very gentle with me, and we're just like, I just thought you decided to do it. I didn't know why you did it. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I mean, it makes sense because I'm a very unique person, and I do some very interesting things sometimes. But yeah, so I pulled into the drive-through backwards, and that's the only time that I have ever done that, and that is probably why a lot of drive-throughs have the enter-exit sign, is from people like me that pull in backwards places. And yeah, it was a very interesting rest of our experience, because, you know, I was like having to hand my credit card to my friend and be like, here, can you hand this to her? And she'd run it and she'd pass the receipt back, and I'd sign the receipt and then I'd pass it back. And it was just an amusing situation that happened. It wasn't amusing at the time, it was rather embarrassing at the time, but now I can look back at it and get a good laugh. And so I just met with my friend there, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to share this story because it's just funny. But yes, that is yet another thing that takes up space in my brain unnecessarily, and this is, I think, part 11. No, this is part 12. This is part 12. Oh my goodness. We're up to 12. We're almost to the teens of my my ridiculous stories. But anyways, yeah. So that's things that take up space in my brain. Part 12, the time that I pulled into a coffee shop drive-through backwards, and my friend and the owner were both gracious and kind and sweet enough not to point it out and make me feel like a dum-dum. Oh, I do some really random things sometimes, and then sometimes those just make me go, God, how have I made it to 32 years of age? Because I do some very peculiar things in my lifetime. But it is what it is. And the bright side is I just pulled up. So actually this worked out almost perfectly. So you guys don't have like tons and tons of nonsensical rambling. You just have a little bit of nonsensical rambling. So yeah, anyways, I'll go ahead and end this video. And I wanted to say I love you. Bye.